Welcome, friends, to Reality Test. What is reality testing, you may ask? Well, it's something we all do every day, maybe with our loved ones over dinner, with coworkers at the water cooler, etc., when we check our subjective or personal emotions, thoughts, and so forth against objective or sort of more agreed upon fact-based reality. Although, because Dr. Ray and I, Dr. Kay, are social constructionists, we don't actually believe there's one true objective reality, but rather our own personal versions of it constructed in the context of relationships. But you get the idea. So here in Reality Test, we're going to be testing the castmate realities and the producer antics of our favorite reality TV shows against what we know as licensed psychologists about the reality out here, off of our TVs. We hope you'll join us as we attempt to reality test. That's it. Thanks, y'all. Now check out our campy theme song.
Are you feeling stressed? Your head's all messed? Well, let's forget all the rest. Fuck it, we're blessed, because it's time to talk reality test. Come with us. Let's reality test.
Welcome to Reality Test. I'm Dr. Ray.
And I'm Dr. Kay. Feel free to check in and take a seat in one of those lovely red velvet seats that are here in the theater because we are doing awards ceremony, despite it being a month and a half later from our previous one. Mm-hmm. But that means we're covering April in full and like half of May. So we're going to get some extra available content.
Indeed we will. And I cannot wait. I love doing awards. I love hearing about the shows that maybe I'm not watching or different things. So very, very excited.
Exactly. I do have some other shows for you today, too. Before I list the shows, I'm just going to say we're therapists, but not your therapist, and we're not the therapists of the people that we're talking about. We've never met them. We haven't assessed them, so we don't know their diagnoses. And when we make comments about mental health stuff, it's just like a wondering. We're just wondering gently.
Yeah.
So
curious people.
Yeah, we're curious. We're just like, this could be a thing I'd wonder about if I were working with them. Mm-hmm. I will say that the shows I'm covering are Summer House, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Southern Charm, but also Below Deck Sailing Yacht, Battle Camp. Battle Camp is on Netflix. I don't know if you've heard about it.
No.
It's kind of great. It has a lot of the like Netflix reality stars on it. Yeah. And then $1 Million Secret, also on Netflix.
Amazing. I cannot wait to hear about all these shows. And sometimes your spiels get me excited, and then I will follow that journey and watch the show. So I'm intrigued to hear about what you're talking about.
You should. At least Battle Camp, I think you'll like. It was good. Yeah. It had a lot of like the perfect match people on it. Yeah.
I can see myself getting into it. Excellent.
So tell me what you have for shows.
I have Summer House. I have The Valley, which I've started watching.
Oh, yeah, The Valley.
Oof. Yeah. And then Real Housewives of Beverly Hills are my big... I said 2, 3. There's 3 of those. I can count to 3.
You are counting to 3 like a champ. I'm also noticing...
Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. No, it's like really stellar. I love your counting.
I'd like to accept this award for counter of the year or of the podcast.
You're accountant.
Thank you.
Counting.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Yes.
Very nice. I loved that. That was great. And I will also say that, yes, The Valley, I forgot to even like include that a little bit. Yeah, The Valley is a great point because I love The Valley. And so far, this has been a juicy season. I hope maybe we can do it after you get back from wedding and honeymoon. We can like come back and do a Valley.
I love
do
it.
A Valley like themes or something, because that's another one where it might be good for themes.
Perfect. I love the idea of focusing on the Valley. That sounds super fun.
I love that you brought it into this. I'm excited to hear. Okay.
Yay.
So if you all haven't heard or seen this in a long time, the award show, each award name has test somewhere in the name because this is reality test after all. So our first one is Protest This Mess, which is like the meanest, saddest, drunkest, most obnoxious moment from any of the TV shows that we've watched this month and a half. So tell me what you're protesting today.
Danny apparently assaulting Jasmine's girlfriend and also being like really fucking like not cool to her. I was like, whoa, we're just like showing a brief scene of him apologizing. Like that is so like beyond not okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just quite disturbing. And Jasmine was very gracious about it and certainly did not have to be.
No.
That was tough. Tough to hear that happened.
No, that was definitely swept under the rug very quickly. And it's like, I think Nia and Danny were like the best couple, I think, for people. Like a lot of people like liked them the most. And so I think the show wanted to like help sweep it under the rug so that they could stay the good couple. But like, that's not good. That's not okay. And he's not doing enough to repair it. And he's not doing enough to fix it. Like, people keep saying then he'll apologize, but then not change his behavior. He's never said that to us. He's never said that he's realizing he does it every time. He needs to fix it. He never said anything like that. He's like, I was out of character or whatever. I was really wasted, or it's like, whatever.
He certainly focuses on the way that Jax is hitting rock bottom, but I would argue, like, and they're all so like addicted to these narratives, and I think each of them has at least been through to enough therapy or knows therapy speak, but they really glom on in ways that are kind of annoying to me and like smug about each other, which sucks. It's kind of annoying to watch, but. Yeah,
no, it's so savory.
Really like, yeah, it's like, you really need to do this, and you're really hitting rock bottom. And I'm like, I don't feel that bad for Jax, honestly. I think, but I'm like, he must be exhausted hearing this smug person for the 100th time being like, me. It's just like really annoying the way it's happening.
I agree. No, it's very like self-righteous and like I feel that way also about right. And I feel that way about Janet's husband, even though I like him a little bit. Also, we find out we don't like him, but yeah, he's very self-righteous about it.
I literally was saying that to Connor last night. I was like, this guy is so annoying. That was every time he talked, I was like, oh my God, I just can't with the way he talks about things. Yeah.
Yeah. Smug as fuck. And then we find out he takes his wedding ring off to go out.
Okay. Yeah.
That was in the preview. Gross. I'm also not caught up with the Valley, so there might be something I don't know there.
I'm not caught up either. I need to watch this week's episode, but damn.
Okay. My protesting of the messing is from Battle Camp. So Battle Camp is like people from Perfect Match, but also like The Circle and like all of the different Netflix reality TV world. And so one of those shows is Squid Games. And so there's people from Squid Games, the version of it that's a game show, which also I love. I loved both. And then the idea is that like each week they have like a challenge, and then like certain people get put on the wheel. There's this wheel and they spin the wheel, and that's how people go home. It's not like really anything. It's just like they spin a wheel and that person goes home. So the idea is like it's very much based on chance. I say bullshit to that. I think it's definitely rigged. I think they're like very aware of who's going home each week. But like whatever. I don't blame them, right? You want like a good show. You want to be in control of who goes home. So I get it. But the way they have been treating this one player who's from Squid Games named Trey, he's like a little bit nerdy, but he's like he's like playing hard, and I get that he's playing hard. You don't want to play that hard. I get that. He doesn't know that because he came from Squid Games where you have to play hard. You have to be like constantly talking and constantly scheming. So he came in and he constantly schemed, and then like actually kind of got like his ride or die voted out, but not voted out because it's the wheel, right? But like obviously producers purposely did that because he sold out his buddy, so his buddy went home from the wheel. He only had one vote for him, his buddy. And he got he only had one time on the wheel, and he went home. So it's like clearly related to the producers were like, okay, you played him, so now he's gonna go home and you're gonna look like a dick. So I feel bad that they played him. But then the rest of the season, he was being completely ostracized and like bullied, frankly. Like I felt so bad for him. I was sort of like, why are we doing this? Like it feels like a lot. And I understand like he, played his best friend kind of like ride or die, who's like this like hot guy from the UK too, whom I like. But like I think that's like one play he made, and it was to save himself. Yeah. It was very directly set up for him. Like someone was like, well, I'm gonna vote for you unless you tell me who I should vote for. Like, should I vote for this other person? And he's like, yeah, please. Like obviously he's gonna say yes. So I feel like it was misportrayed to other people, and it ended up like ruining the whole season for him. He just was like alone a lot, and I felt so badly for him. It's just like I was like, no, I protest this. I protest it. He played with his mom. He played with his mom on Squid Games. He and his mom played together. It was so cute. It's like, this is a sweet baby angel. Yes, he's a sweet little guy. Like, I just felt bad. Yeah, so I say no.
He went hard, and yeah. And made a tactical error, perhaps.
But then to get like totally bullied the rest of the season, it's like, all right, listen.
Yeah. Like you're coming in a little hot, everybody. It's okay.
Yeah. And they all thought of him as like, who cares if we play him or not? Because he played someone else. Like it was like that kind of an attitude the rest of the time. It's like y'all have played each other too, like other games or whatever. It's like that happens. And he came from Squid Games, a different game. Like he didn't know to lay low, but whatever.
Yeah. It's like balls to the wall from the beginning, probably in Squid Games, because what else are you going to do?
There's so many players too. And it's like for millions of dollars. So like clearly they're going to be going hard. Yeah.
Of course. Okay. Well, speaking of unruly behavior, who is doing the mostest? Like, who is the most cringe or embarrassing for April/half of May?
Love it. This is the one time I referenced The $1 Million Secret, which is on Netflix and has to do with like right away someone gets $1 million in a box and your job as the person who has $1 million is to convince everyone you don't have it so that they don't vote for you. If they vote for you, you have to show everyone what's in your box. If it's the $1 million, it gets redistributed randomly. And then at the end, obviously you want to, have no one want your box. You want to end up being the one with $1 million in your box. So that's the main premise. The person I thought was doing the mostest, kind of don't remember his name. It could have been like Brett or Brad or something. He was a Harvard grad and definitely made sure we knew that. And he was very smug with himself about that fact. And also was clearly going for this hot girl, Sydney. And so she was like definitely playing him. She told us she was playing him. We get that she's playing him. He did not seem to understand that possibility. Like people were even like, it's like a game show we're on. And he was like, yeah, but like, no, we're like really hitting it off. And he even said, it's almost like he was saying like, yeah, it's part of the game, but I like really like her and this is different. And then he referred at one point to like the nerdy Harvard kid getting the head cheerleader. I was like, buddy, like this is tough to watch. So I feel like that was cringe AF. And then he also later did something almost more cringy, which is that he took credit for something that was not his thing to take credit for at all. Like he was like, yeah, I figured out this thing. I was like, no, you did not. They had figured out Scream was like the scary movie that The Clue was about. And he was not the person to say it first. And he was like, yeah, I figured out Scream. Like, no, you didn't. You didn't though. So I say doing the mostest, my friend, and I'm grateful he did not win.
Yes. And, don't assume that someone's not playing a game and that they really like you. Like, keep your ego in check, friend.
Just like a little bit in check, but like also he just was like so smug with himself. Like he just was like so like proud that like and it's like even that alone was like tough to watch. Even if she had wanted to be into him, it just was like it was this weird like objectification of her or like, you know what I mean? Like he was sort of like, oh, she's the hot girl, not like she's a cool person. Like, I don't know. And he kept saying to her like, I love that we're hitting it off. And like, I don't know. It just was like, I was like, buddy. But yes, I think it's not good to assume that it's not about the game, but it's also like, I don't know, don't objectify her. It's like, don't make it about her looks and like the head cheerleader thing. I don't know. It was gross. Didn't like it.
Get to know her as a human, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yep. How about you? Who was doing the most test?
Cringe. I'm sorry, Carl. I know we were just talking about you not that long ago. It was so cringe when you confessed your feelings to Sierra, and it was kind of sweet. It just was, it made me nervous while it was happening, and it gave me the cringe.
Yeah.
But, who knows? Like, shoot your shot. I'm glad he said something. And it was hopefully at least flattering for her and like a closure on when she liked him a couple seasons ago. In the moment, it made me anxious. That was how I felt.
We were both like, no, Carl, no. Like, don't do it.
Yeah. And they built it up so much, I think, with like the previews and stuff. So it just made it a little like nerve wracking. But
yeah, that was a tough hang. Sorry, Carl.
Tough hang. Sorry.
And I think that was also, speaking of the previews and stuff being a part of it, that's related to our next item, which is testing 1, 2, 3, which is like the best or worst production ad or producer antic or moment.
I was glad that Kyle's relationship with Kathy was shown and like the nuance on the reunion when she was laughing and being weird. Like they could have easily cut her in that because she was like being odd but I think it was a really great illustration of like other people's homophobia and how that can impact family dynamics and people. And so I was really glad they kept it because I would think it was a good teaching moment. Yeah. And it gave me more insight to what that dynamic looked like. So I was glad.
What a relational script.
Totally. I think Kathy often gets a good edit and that wasn't a great edit for her and I'm glad for it.
Yeah, I agree. It was like, and you said before, like she's sort of like the lovable, like goofy one or whatever. It's sort of like it put that in perspective where it's like, it's also not lovable when she's like laughing at a time when we need to be serious or like obviously out of discomfort, but, or like, being homophobic, like outwardly, which we know she is based on something she said in Aspen at the club, like about somebody who told her that they were not going to play Michael Jackson because of reasons that are very valid. And she called them a very bad word, slur, based on like a homophobic slur. So that we know she's like homophobic already to begin with. No wonder Kyle has some internalized homophobia and then biphobia, whatever it might be. But then, exactly. Seeing their relational script, like the way she tries to take care of Kathy, Kyle does to get Kathy to shut the fuck up. Like she's got like 3 or 4 tries. Like I'm going to be rude at first, not rude, but like firm. Then I'm going to be like thankful, but like, can you stop? And then I'm going to be a little bit firmer and sort of interesting. I agree. The relational script was rich.
Yes. Quite rich. But what was your best or worst?
Yeah, I think this is like one of there's like a couple from Summer House because we did that episode last week. But one of the things we didn't talk about that I wanted to come back to was the way that Summer House production clearly made Craig look worse through the recap. Like you had brought up too, which I was like, yes, it's totally related to something I'm going to bring up in awards about how he's been talked about in the media as like just being a total bag of dicks. Like, and in this case, I feel like Summer House production had a part to play in it because I noticed in one of the episodes and like immediately wrote it down because I was like, what the fuck is that? I noticed in one of the episodes during the recap only, so at the beginning before the episode really started, they showed her talking about like, you clearly don't care if I'm like famous, like you don't care about me or like my job or my fame or whatever. And he was like, that's not fair. Like, they showed a part that was actually from a different part. And I was like, that's not fair actually to Craig. Like you're kind of making it seem like he was like sort of saying that. Which, by the way, he sort of is, but not as in the way that they're making it seem like it was just like a clear like statement he made. He did not. He just was like low key. The subtext of what he was saying to her is that he doesn't want her to be that famous because he misses her, Yeah. And like maybe he's low key jealous, of course, but like that's the subtext. It's not like what he's saying. So like I felt like they kind of did him dirty on that one. Production did.
Agree. It's a bit of like an anxious avoidant sort of thing playing out. It's less like he's this narcissistic asshole, which it just doesn't feel true. And I think maybe there's some like defensiveness on Paige's part as if she needs to get her part of the story out. And she can do that. And her story is valid without like painting him in a certain way. I don't know if she is or the media is. I don't know what's happening, but like, I don't know. It's complicated. Yeah.
It's very complicated. I agree. And there is some defensiveness, I think, as well. Yes. Good point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So next we've got the holding castmates accountable. So reading their results. So who has shown for you the most or least growth?
For test results, I had Daisy, so this is the one time I referenced Below Deck Sailing Yacht. Daisy's a chief stew, and she previously would give, I don't know if you've seen any of the Below Deck shows.
Yes, I have. Okay. I've seen Daisy before. I haven't watched it in a while, so I'm behind, but I've seen her. Certainly.
Yeah. I think I watched like 2 episodes of this season, by the way, and then just like stopped. There's something about Below Deck where it starts to feel very formulaic, and I just sort of like ready to stop. One of the things that is formulaic, though, that I like is that Daisy, just like many other chief stews before her, previously used to give second and third stew positions. So she'd be like, you're second stew because you have more experience, and you're third stew, so you're going to learn from her. And she found out that was making for a disaster previously. So now this season, this most recent season, shockingly, because a lot of people do this as chief stews, she decided to make it more of a team dynamic and have them both be sort of like stews, not like second and third, but like stews. And what I wanted to draw attention to it was, like, first of all, everyone fucking does this, so I'm glad she learned that because it's so important. And the reason it works is because that's a feminist style of leadership where we're a team together instead of a hierarchy. Mm-hmm. And what do you know? It works better. It's almost like we'd be better off in a matriarchy than a patriarchy. Huh. I say we go.
What do you
for
know?
That. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What do you know? Love it.
I know. It's shocking. Shocking.
Good for you,
yeah, I wanted
Daisy.
to use that as like a little, exactly. I'm glad she noticed it. And like, I wonder if like the chief stews talk to each other or if she just like saw the other shows, but it felt like it's like, I feel like it's been done so many times by the chief stew, but I'm so glad that they are making that change because feminist style of leadership is very effective, especially among women, down, like, I feel like they should be doing that and helping each other. And it works beautifully, of course. But,
absolutely. In a down position already. And then like fighting for limited resources. It's like, yes, let's elevate each other. I love that.
Exactly. What were your test results or whose test results did you read?
Oh my gosh. So Jesse, complicated test results. I'm not saying he's all like, certainly he's got a lot of room for growth. Mm-hmm. I thought his apology to Kristen was the only good apology I saw. Like he was genuinely sorry.
That was genuine. I felt like too.
Took accountability and recognized that he had his own defenses up that made him lash out at her. I appreciated that apology. Do I still think he's a dog and has a lot of work to do and maybe did that as a way to get her on his side? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Possibly. I think that's in the mix. But I did think it was a really nice apology and it showed some growth from Jesse. I'm not saying that Jesse is redeemed by any stretch of the imagination. As I mentioned last year, I also kind of think he's cute. I was talking to Connor about it last night. I'm like, why do I think he's attractive? He's like a very problematic person. Why do I find him good looking? And Connor's like, I don't know. And so we got to watch my own bias towards Jesse, because I'm not saying he's a good person or worthy of our like admiration at all. I thought he did a nice apology to Kristen, and
I'm with you. As an isolated event, it was a great event. Yes.
Yes.
So
His
on that
treatment of
assignment,
Michelle and rumors that he's starting about her, not cool. Not cool.
no, mm-mm. He's like starting so much shit. But I would say like that assignment got an A, and ultimately altogether he still is working up from an F. So keep moving, my guy.
Yeah, he could be at a D- now, and hey, we'll take it. It's a little
okay.
growth.
I will give you that. Yeah. I don't find him cute, so that is. But like if that means I don't find him cute, that's a good thing that I'm also giving him an A on that assignment. So it's not your bias.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Check my bias, because I'm like, why do I find you cute? It's weird. He's not even that cute. Like I really don't get it. And I honestly don't want to look at it too closely.
I don't think you should. Just let it be. Just let it live. Let it breathe. Let it be its own thing. Yeah. That's so funny. But I will tell you my favorite segment is next, which is our testosterboned award. Fabulous. Our testosterboned award is for the person who is the most, or an event, person or moment that is the most patriarchal. It can also be white supremacist, misogynist, and or heterosexist, because we want to put those in one category because there's so many different awards we could be giving. But this is basically like the most, like a person who has literally boned themselves with their testosterone. Testosterone. Oh my God. They've boned themselves with it and therefore been particularly patriarchal. So who did you give this to, or what moment today?
Okay. So Jesse's treatment of Sierra, I'm thinking about the moment in particular at his cancer thing. I think this was a big moment for her where she was just like, fuck you, where she touched his arm when he was so flirty and like on top of her the week before and was like, Sierra, stop it. Like so outlandish and shaming. Mm-hmm. I think it probably made her feel like it made her look as if she was some sort of homewrecker. Yeah. I think the way in which what it must have made her feel, how I felt she felt in that moment was like absolute shit. And it was so unfair and like really pissed me off. And I think that's where she was like, fuck this guy. I'm out. Because it was like embarrassing to her. And it wasn't, she did not deserve that at all.
No. He's painting her as like a predator or something. He's painting her as like the one initiating it. Yeah.
Yeah. Which, what the fuck? Like, stop. It was so upsetting. And I could feel her like frustration and like embarrassment in that moment. I was like, fuck this guy. Like after all he's done to make her feel this way, like, fuck you, dude.
Get the fuck out.
Not cool.
Enough of you.
Yep.
I literally said honorable mention is Summer House, Jesse Solomon, my guy, with Sierra, period. Enough said. Like that's all, because it's like how he was with her was like absolutely not okay. Also not great with Lexi, of course, but like just so testosterone with her. And then my non-honorable mention was Southern Charm, interestingly, because there's a parallel, which is that I felt like JT on Southern Charm for how he played Vanita was like a very similar, like, fucking no thank you, white men with black women who don't know how to fucking value what you have. And also makes me wonder if you actually don't like black women, honestly, especially JT. I was like, do you just not like black women? And can you own that? Like, I feel like that's what it is for JT. And instead he's playing her along to look like he's doing the thing. And I don't like it.
I really don't like JT. I didn't like him last season, and it felt validated this season, my dislike of him, because I found him really self-righteous and annoying. But
valid.
Yeah.
Yes, very.
Yeah. Men, stop it. We're over it.
Take it down a B or 6. White cishet men. Thank you.
Yes, please. So to counteract that awful testosterone energy, what is our Bechdel test? So this is our most feminist, anti-racist, or gay, etc. moment.
So, I had an honorable mention that I didn't finish the sentence of. So there was an honorable mention to somebody, but I don't know who. I will say that my Bechdel test that was in reality, or the bigger one, is for Garcelle. She's getting my Bechdel test because of the way she moves through the world. I think what she's expecting from allies is both spot on and feminist / anti-racist. And I'd be with her all day as a solid ally. I would feel so grateful that she had my back like that. Regardless of what I wanted in terms of friendships elsewhere, I would still like value her as like number one in a way that Sutton just clearly doesn't seem to get. And I didn't like that other people were asking Sutton about Garcelle, like to speak for Garcelle, if that was inappropriate. And I didn't like that Bose didn't get the expectation either, given her EQ. Yeah. Like I was thinking she would definitely get that. And I was just sort of bummed. So then I was like culturally thinking, She missed
It felt
it.
like she missed it. It felt like to me, after I was thinking about it and you brought it to my attention, it felt like she wasn't attuned to it. And maybe it's because she hasn't been there as long. I don't know.
No, I agree.
No
I think it went right over her head. I really do think she had no idea. And I think it maybe has to do with like the fact that she thinks Garcelle was saying that you've been poisoned by Dorit, and that Bose kind of took that more personally than about Dorit. Like, I think Garcelle was trying to say it about Dorit, not about Bose, and was trying to think, I think she was trying to say, like, the only reason Bose doesn't like me is because of Dorit, not because we're not good friends, or, you know, she had valid reasons too, I think. But yeah, there's something that made her miss Garcelle, and I hated that. And like, I also think it's possible that she does feel the same way Garcelle does, that like, we're always going to be good in some ways, but like, we're playing the game right now. Like, this is the show. Maybe she does feel that way, and they just didn't get another chance to connect like that. I don't know. But it definitely seemed like she missed the boat there a little bit. And so then I was thinking, like, why? And then I was thinking about, okay, she's an exec, right? She's an exec at Netflix or something. If she were to have a black employee's back in a way that's different from a white employee, she could get in trouble for that. Yeah.
Oh, that's so smart.
Right?
That makes so much sense about where that misses.
Totally. Wow. So I think she probably is like actually kind of bending over backwards not to play favorites because of the way she is as an exec. And this is a new setting where that just doesn't track. Yeah.
That makes perfect sense, honestly.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Boom. Nailing that dynamic in so many ways. It's
not like I think a lot about Bose Garcelle. Jesus. Yeah. No, right? It's interesting to think about.
Yeah. Wow. And gives me compassion for Bose's perspective too, of like why that miss happened for her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So who gets your Bechdel test?
I will say, so we talked about the multitude of reasons that you brought up about why the women were supportive of Lindsay this season.
Mm-hmm.
I like to see it. I like to see that a kind of very AFAB focused event happened for her and that they're like backing her. I like that Paige has like cooled her jets hugely on how she's treated Lindsay. And I like to see Lindsay, like, I don't know, it's just nice to see them all interacting because they've been so adversarial for so many seasons. It's just nice to see that camaraderie between the women. And even Lexi, like, I think in the past, some of the women who have joined have felt like ostracized from the house. I don't think that's how she feels. I think that she's intimidated by like Paige and Sierra and Amanda, but I don't think I don't think they're like purposely leading them out. So I think there's been some nice like feminist energy between the women this season.
You know what? That like brings me back to your point last week about like her with Jesse Solomon, like having a reason to stay with Jesse Solomon for the show, which is that like since she's been with Jesse Solomon, she hasn't really been seen with the women like in the bed. Like that part has changed. Like she tried to get in the bed back at the beginning, and I've noticed she hasn't gone back. And I think it's possible that like there was one moment maybe where they were like, actually, can we? And that happened. Remember? Like I think Amanda or something was like, can I talk to my girls? And she's like, of course. And then like we never see her come back in the bed. Yeah. So I wonder if she felt like that's not really my territory. Yeah. So then Jesse becomes more important.
Yeah. If I were Lexi, I would feel like I wouldn't go back. I'd feel embarrassed, you know, if you're kicked out of the bed.
So fucking embarrassed. Yeah. Like, honestly, that is rough as fuck. So, like, I get that. And I think that's tough. So, it does make Jesse more important to her for the show. So, I agree with their point about that in the context of that, too. Yeah.
But that
good points.
That kind of colors the feminist energy. Because
I think, like, yeah, they probably didn't mean it like that. Like, it's probably not, like, intended to, like, make her feel like she can't come back. But I would also feel embarrassed enough to not come back, too. So, I hear you, too. Yeah.
Totally. Oh, poor Lexi.
I also feel like she had a friend and the friend left for good. And then like, like Lindsay's being treated differently now because Lindsay doesn't have Danielle. Like, so she's also like kind of alone. So like they have to all get along with each other really, you know? So I think there's that piece too. But yeah, I do agree they're coming to her aid and to her like support in a really beautiful way. And I love it. And I like that Lindsay's feeling, you know, like queenly about it. It's nice.
Yeah, it's nice. And I think it makes her feel good, which is, it's like cute. I don't know. It makes me happy. It makes me smile to see her.
She's like glowing.
Happy. Yeah, exactly. I know people say that, and I kind of, I've always felt weird about that, but I kind of do feel like she's glowing. Yeah. And I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
Is it just a thing? I don't know.
Yeah, it's biological. It's a biological thing. Like there's a thing about women when they're pregnant because we like want to, our species wants that to happen more often. So like women when they're pregnant like look a special way. And like we also want to have more babies because we want to keep the race going. So the human race going. So we like see that as like a positive thing. So we see them as glowing, like whatever, you know. There's like a lot of biological evolutionary reasons that pregnant women are particularly attractive and happy.
It's fascinating. It's weird. Yeah.
Keep it going. Keep that race going. Keep that human race going. But relevant to what you're just saying, there's also an entire award relevant to that a little bit, which is called They Were the Worst Test of Friends. They were the best test of friends. So what were the moments or people that were the best or worst of friends or relationships?
I said this last week, but Jesse talking so much shit about Lexi really bummed me out. It just wasn't kind. Like, if you're gonna get, and it's okay. I think it's one thing to be like, hey, I feel kind of weird about this, but like, I'm not sure about this, versus like, she's kind of crazy. I don't know. Like, I'm just along for the ride here, which was how he was kind of framing it. That's very different than like, this gives me a little pause. Like, what should I do? I really care about her. You know, it's just like, it's trying to make himself look cool and minimize his involvement, which I don't know. I didn't like it. So it wasn't. I
think it's also to like lead Sierra on or something too. Because if he can like put it down, it gives them more energy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. So I think he has some work to do. And I hope when he watches this back, he'll be like, oh, I was kind of a dick. I should work on that.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like the other reason too is like he has to tell Amanda that he's not allowed to like post on her videos anymore and like can't be sexual anymore. So he kind of has to like make it Lexi's fault. Like, it's all her fault. Like, she's like this. It's just her problem. But blame her, and then blame her also to Sierra as the reason that they can't be as flirty, even though he wants to be flirty. And then it becomes like, but because Lexi's crazy, it's okay that I'm still flirty with you, you know? But then when he pushes her away, it's sort of like, well, now you're just like sending mixed messages and being a dick. So yeah,
and making me look bad. Yep.
Growing and learning to do, my friend. Yeah, exactly. Making her look bad.
Can't wait for the reunion, because he's going to get taken to task, I hope.
I love it. Mine was also Summer House, by the way, because mine was Sierra and Paige. I love their fucking friendship. It's so sweet and amazing. They're so good with each other. The way Sierra like literally has so much empathy for Paige that she was like crying with her and like anxious with her when she was anxious. I just was like, the sweetest. Definitely been there. Like, I know what that feeling like when you're like, oh my God, I don't want you to feel this way. I'm so sorry. And I love that means like both Paige can be fully honest and open with Sierra, but that also like Sierra's like right there with her. She's like not missing a beat, you know? I love that they sleep in the same bed together. I love that they're best friends. I just want to be friends with them. They're such a great friendship. It's beautiful.
Yeah. They're really sweet and love each other so much. It's awesome to see.
Love it.
Well, what was our testimonial? So our best confessional straight to camera moment.
So mine is back to battle camp one last time. And in this case, it's also a player from Squid Games, which actually is funny because it was not the intent. Like, I like a lot of them. I actually knew every single player on the show. I was like, wow, I've watched way too much fucking Netflix and reality universe. Yeah.
Amazing.
So that was a hoot. But it also means I did not, I didn't need to pick the only two Squid Games players, but it turned out that way. The other one is Lorenzo. Are you going to watch the show? You might, so I'm not going to say much else about it. I'm going to talk about him, but there's other things I would say too as well that like a little bit spoilery, so probably not worth it. But I will say Lorenzo's the other one. So like there's Trey and there's Lorenzo. And Lorenzo's kind of like the opposite, where he's like very social, like everyone loves him, he's really sweet. But also he said something at the beginning where he was like, I'm not going to play this as hard as I played Squid Games. He's like, Squid Games I played really hard, I went all out. This time I'm going to stay back a little bit. And so it was interesting to see his strategy versus Trey's. And then I also felt like the reason I put him for testimonials is because every time he talked to the camera, so my point about that is like he was so laid back that we kind of never even really saw him talking to anybody. Like, you don't really see him like talking a lot. There's like a couple times in the bathroom with a girl that, by the way, who's Georgia, and I love Georgia. She's so hot and like awesome. So I was glad that they became really close. It was really sweet. But yeah, he said at one point to her, like, this is not the testimonial, but he was like, I think that God spent a lot of like beauty marks on us or something. Like, I don't know. He said something like that. We got a lot of the genes. It was so cute. That was so cute.
Fun.
I loved it. He's Italian, by the way, like super Italian. So he's an Italian accent. It's a delight. So then that's why I gave him testimonials, because so many of his straight to camera moments were like a little bit cocky, like a delight, very Italian accent, and like completely different than how we saw him with most of the people during the show. And I really liked getting that other side of like what was happening in each moment, where he's like, at one point before a challenge, he's like, I just want a little bit of that Lorenzo magic. I was like, get it, buddy, get your little Lorenzo magic going. It's just fun the way he's like kind of bringing a little cocky energy in there. So I give that to you, Lorenzo. Great work. What a delight to watch you.
You go, Lorenzo.
Yeah.
Love a little Italian representation in our midst.
I love it. And fashion wise too, like he wore very like Italian things, which I liked, like netted shirts, and it That's great.
Yes. I gotta watch. I might watch just for that.
I think you really should. Yeah, for that for sure. But like also I really think you'll like it. There's a lot of people that you know too. Ooh, I guess you didn't watch The Circle, and there's a lot of people from The Circle. But I think you'll see overlap.
Yeah, I didn't watch, or we watched a season of The Circle, but maybe not the most recent.
Yeah.
No.
It's not even from the recent one, I think. Like most of them are like Shoe Bomb, the like little Indian guy, he came in second.
I don't remember Shoe Bomb.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. So I think these are like a couple and then plus seasons ago. But yeah, most of them are like, you know Nick, the guy who's like a bro. He's white. You might recognize him because he was a big moment for the show, I guess. But anyway, you're going to see people you may or may not. Guess who's on it? QT.
Love QT.
Yes.
Obsessed. She's great. And her and Miles were cute.
Yeah. You're going to love it. She's in a lot of it. So I think you should see it. You'll really like her too. She did great. Yeah. And then the guy who was on that same season, who's also black, who had the dog that was so cute.
Oh, yeah. What is his name? He was really good too.
I should know it because I just watched it. Yeah, I just watched. It's like just below the surface for me. But like, yeah, I'll think of it maybe later. But probably not. I probably won't. I'm just gonna let it go. But yeah, he's so funny and he was great. So I think you should see it.
Yay!
Anyway, tell me about your testimonial.
Okay. Mine is pretty low-hanging fruit, but I liked West talking about Lexi and Jesse's relationship, making him feel better, because it was funny. I think it was a little funny, and he's charming. I get why Sierra liked him. Like, he's probably fun, and he's kind of like withholding and like sarcastic, and that's fun energy to be around. Like and self-aware, and he'd be a fun person to hang with.
I agree.
And I think it also speaks to a dynamic on the show where he's like, this shit is taking the attention off of me and making me look better. That's kind of unspoken in what he said, but I think it's there because I haven't thought about him as much, and I was really thinking about him the first couple of weeks. Yeah. But Jesse has taken the attention off of him, and I think West is like happy to be out of the spotlight a little bit.
And he wants Jesse to like blow it up. So there's like, it wasn't just me with Sierra. Like Jesse blew it up too. Like that's just what happens in the summer house. Like it doesn't work for people.
I don't like the implication. Did I hear this? There might have been an implication. Jesse might have said something like, now I know what West means about Sierra. He did say that. And fuck you, Jesse. That's
he did.
Awful. That is awful. And like, how fucking convenient for you when you've been a total dick to her. Like the receipts are there. And again, I hope he gets taken to task.
He will. Thank God. Yeah. I love Sierra and Paige are going to come in together hot, and they're going to take care of it because they absolutely need to, because he's like totally deserving of some fucking handing to. I like his ass getting handed to him, especially like after he watches his back. If he does not come in with his fucking tail between his legs, like at least West tried to do that. He just like didn't talk at all, but like at least he tried to come in a little bit humble. Like if he doesn't do that, it's over. He's going to be like totally slaughtered by it. Yeah. So what a joy.
West.
We did awards. Yeah. West. Oh,
it was fun.
No, good one. That's a good one. I like him a lot. He is funny. Like I like him in testimonials, but I also agree. I'm glad we're not seeing him with like other girls. Like I'm glad it's just like he can be like, you know, and we could just focus on Jesse. If we're gonna do that, I'm glad we're not like missing something that's happening, which I guess we could be, but we're not like seeing him bring girls home and stuff like that, which I appreciate.
Absolutely, yes.
For Sierra's sake, because that's a little bit messy.
Too much.
Yeah, too much. It'd be too much if that was him doing it, for sure. But what a joy, as always, to go to the award show with you. I love going to the award show and awarding things with you, things and people, moments. And I like that we were able to cover a lot of the summer house stuff that we didn't get to do during the themes. Like there were some nice little nuggets throughout both of ours. So what a joy.
Yay. It was an absolute delight.
Yeah. So check us out on patreon.com/realitytv. Reality Test is the word. Reality Test. You can also look it up at Reality Test on the search bar, like use the @ symbol. We're also on Instagram and at Dr. Ray Pods, Dr. K Pods. We're also on TikTok at Dr.dr.realitv, REALITV. And then we're also on YouTube and Facebook at Reality Test Pod, using the @ symbol for YouTube. And we're on email at Gmail at realitycheckpodding@gmail.com.
Love it. And don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and tell all your friends.
Woo. Tell them all and bring them on board, because we love all of you already. We want to love your army, your friends. Bring them on deck. And we'll see you next session. Oh, wait. Bye. Actually, we should tell you it's going to be a few weeks or a couple weeks. It's going to be like 2 weeks. 2 weeks. We're taking a little break because, summer break. Dr. Ray's doing important things in life, which we love, for like marriage and love. So we're going to focus on that. And then we'll be back in a little bit later in June.
We surely will.
Okay.
We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye, friends.